The galaxy had always whispered about the Dominion, a vast empire older than any human record, its borders drawn across a third of the known stars. Its name carried in fear and silence. The Dominion was not a place, it was a warning, a line drawn between what was known and what should never be touched. When humanity joined the interstellar stage, their arrival caused unease. The Dominion sent them a single message through every channel, a cold transmission echoing across light years. No human ship shall enter the Dominion or the void beyond. Any who do will be erased. The words were calm, emotionless yet heavier than any weapon. Captain Alara Voss stood on the bridge of the exploration vessel Valiant Dawn, staring at the message repeating on the holoscreen. Around her, the crew sat in uneasy silence. The Dominion's flag shimmered across the transmission, a black star devouring smaller suns. "They really believe fear keeps peace," her first officer, Lieutenant Cade, muttered. Breaking the silence, Alara didn't reply. Her eyes followed the message as it looped again and again. She had seen fear before in human wars, in the ruins of burned colonies. But she also knew one truth. Humans never stayed where they were told not to go. Across the galaxy, humanity was still considered young, reckless and stubborn. They had no ancient fleets, no immortal emperors, only courage and curiosity. But those two things were enough to shake older civilizations. And now that same courage brought them to the edge of the Dominion, to a place called the Void Rift. The rift was an empty space. It was a region where even light seemed to die, where ships vanished without distress signals. The Dominion claimed it was sacred, forbidden, yet deep down, every explorer wanted to know what lay inside. Alara walked to the central console, the stars of the Dominion shimmering ahead like a dark ocean. Her voice was calm when she spoke. "Set course for the void." The crew froze. Cade's hand tightened on the railing. "Captain." "That's suicide," he whispered. Alara turned her gaze to him, her eyes steady. "So was crossing the Atlantic, climbing Everest, or landing on Mars," she said softly. "Humanity doesn't stop because of fear." Engines roared quietly as the Valiant Dawn began to move. The Dominion border shimmered ahead, invisible, yet filled with meaning. Every sensor beeped warnings, automated systems screaming of danger. But still the ship pressed forward. As the Valiant Dawn crossed the threshold, the universe changed. Stars faded one by one, darkness stretched endlessly, and an unnatural quiet filled the ship. The void was not just empty, it was alive. A silence that seemed to listen, "Captain." "We're getting strange readings," the sensor officer said, her voice trembling. "Energy spikes ahead, gravity distortions. I can't identify them." Alara nodded slowly. "Keep recording everything," she ordered. Her tone was firm, but inside her heart raced. Suddenly, a whisper echoed through the comms. It wasn't language. It was vibration, a hum that made the air thick. The ship's AI atlas flickered on. "Captain, an unknown signal is contacting us," Alara frowned. "Translate," she commanded. The lights dimmed as the voice filled the bridge, deep and cold. "You were warned, human vessel," it said. "Turn back, or vanish into silence." The crew froze. Every eye on their captain. Alara's voice was calm but sharp. "Send a message back," she said. "From Captain Alara Voss of the Terran Expeditionary Fleet." She paused, then added, "We do not vanish, and we do not turn back." Her words cut through the silence like fire through fog. For a moment nothing replied. Then the stars around them shimmered. Ships began appearing in the dark. Enormous alien vessels, silver and crimson, their surfaces pulsing like living metal. The Dominion had come. Cade's voice shook. "Multiple targets, Captain." "Hundreds." The alien fleet surrounded them, each ship radiating power enough to erase worlds. A voice boomed again. "You were told to stay in your place." Alara leaned forward, her eyes locked on the black horizon. "And yet here we are," she replied quietly, looking into the void. The crew stared, fear mixing with pride. The Dominion ships didn't fire. Instead, a storm of energy began forming ahead, swirling like a cosmic hurricane. It wasn't a weapon. It was the void itself. Awakening. The Valiant Dawn's hull trembled. The lights flickered. The AI warned. Unknown anomaly approaching. Reality distortion at 0.8 C. Alara gripped the console. Her eyes reflected the swirling darkness. "Hold position," she ordered. "Let's see what the void wants." The storm grew, space bending like glass, and for a heartbeat, something vast opened its eyes, not eyes of flesh, But awareness, the crew felt it. A consciousness stretching across dimensions. Watching them, studying them, Cade whispered. "Captain, it's looking at us." Ilara didn't blink. "Then let it see," she said. The storm's energy lashed out, shaking the ship. Alarms screamed, panels exploded, but the valiant dawn didn't break. Ilara's voice rose over the chaos. "All systems to full power. Stabilize shields." The crew obeyed, hands flying over consoles. Outside, the Dominion ships watched, not moving. The humans stood inside the void, unbroken, defiant, and then silence. The storm stopped as suddenly as it began. The darkness rippled like water touched by wind, and the alien fleet pulled back slightly. Atlas spoke softly. "Captain, the void seems to be responding to us." Ilara turned to the observation window, her voice calm and cold. "Then tell it," she said. "Humanity is not afraid." The last thing the crew saw before the lights went out was the impossible, the void itself shifting, forming shapes almost like it was bowing in that moment. Among 1,000 dead stars, the galaxy realized something it had never believed possible. The void had looked into humanity and trembled. The bridge of the valiant dawn was wrapped in silence. Every console flickered with ghostly blue light. The air hummed with static. Like the ship itself was breathing, the crew moved slowly, whispering as if afraid the darkness might hear them. Captain Ilara Voss stood by the main viewport, staring at the storm that had just faded into a black stillness. The void looked calm now, but there was something in it. A pulse. A presence almost as if space itself was listening. "Status report," she said quietly. Her voice cut through the silence, calm and firm. Lieutenant Cade scanned the readouts. "Shields are holding, engines online, but sensors, they're acting strange," he said. "We're detecting energy echoes, not from the Dominion ships, from the void itself, the ship's AI." Atlas appeared as a faint holographic figure beside Ilara. "Captain," it said, "I believe the void is sending signals. Low frequency, non-random patterns, almost like language." Ilara's eyes narrowed. "Language?" she repeated. "You mean it's trying to talk to us?" Atlas tilted its head. "Not in words, Captain, in rhythm, in patterns of energy and silence like breathing." The crew exchanged nervous looks. No one wanted to believe the emptiness could be alive. But the void wasn't just space, and it was awareness, ancient and vast. Suddenly, the communication channel came alive with static. A distorted voice echoed, low and cold. "Why do you speak when you were told to be silent?" Every light on the bridge flickered. The crew froze. Cade's hand hovered over the emergency controls. Ilara raised her hand slightly. "Do not respond yet," she said softly. Atlas's tone changed. "Captain, the Dominion fleet is moving closer. 77 ships in formation." Ilara took a deep breath. "Put them on the main screen," she ordered. Outside the viewport, the Dominion fleet looked like a wall of light. Immense ships with glowing crimson hulls, energy cores beating like hearts. They were waiting, surrounding the valiant dawn, but not firing. A new voice came through, strong, commanding. Not from the void, but from one of the Dominion ships' human vessel. "You have violated the sacred border," the alien commander said. "You have awakened what should never be disturbed." Ilara stepped forward, her reflection sharp against the glass. "Then maybe it should not have been sleeping," she said quietly. Her tone carried no fear, only defiance. The alien commander paused, its voice deepening. "You do not understand, human. The void devours all that feels, all that thinks. Your courage will not save you." Ilara's lips curved slightly. "Maybe not," she said, "but it might save you." Her words spread across the comms like fire. The Dominion ships shifted uneasily. For centuries, no one had spoken to them like this. No one had dared. The void pulsed again, waves of light rippling through space. It was reacting, its presence growing stronger. The energy readings spiked, and for the first time, Dominion sensors began to fail, Captain. Atlas warned. "The void's energy is synchronizing with our ship's systems. It's reading us, learning us." "Then let it learn," Ilara replied. "Let it know who we are." The lights dimmed, and the air grew heavy. A low hum filled every deck. The crew felt their hearts beating faster. A pressure in their chests then, a voice not from the speakers, but from inside their minds, a whisper that felt like thought and thunder at once. "Humanity," it said. "You look into me without fear." Cade gasped, holding his head. "Captain, did you hear that?" he whispered. Ilara nodded slowly. "Yes," she said. "It's not attacking us, it's Studying us, the Dominion ships panicked, forming new formations, energy weapons charging. The alien commander shouted again, "Cease your link with the void or be destroyed." Alara didn't flinch. She turned toward the communications console. "Patch me through to all channels," she ordered. Her voice carried across the darkness, clear and strong. "This is Captain Alara Voss of the Terran Fleet," she said. "We do not fear your void, and we do not fear your dominion. We came to understand, not to conquer." The void pulsed again, a wave of light spreading like a heartbeat across the dark horizon. The Dominion ships fired warning shots, massive beams slicing through the emptiness. But every blast curved away before reaching the valiant dawn. Absorbed by invisible waves, Atlas's voice trembled slightly. "Captain, the void is protecting us." For a moment, even Alara couldn't breathe. The realization hit. The void was choosing, it was taking sides. The alien commander's voice broke through. This time quieter. "What have you done, human?" Alara stared at the swirling energy beyond the viewport, her voice soft but resolute. "We didn't do anything," she said. "We just listened." The Dominion fleet began to pull back, confusion spreading through their lines. No one had ever seen the void act like this. No one had ever survived inside it for so long. Cade looked at his captain, eyes wide. "Captain, are we sure it's safe?" he asked. Alara turned toward him, the faint glow of the void reflecting in her eyes. "No," she said simply. "But safe is not why we came." The ship drifted deeper, guided by unseen forces. The void seemed to open before them like an ocean parting for a single vessel. The hum grew softer, almost gentle in the distance. New lights appeared, ruins, ancient and massive, floating in the dark. The remains of cities and ships that defied description. Atlas spoke in a whisper. "Captain, I believe we're approaching the center of the void." Alara nodded slowly, her voice low but certain. "Then that's where we'll find our answers," she said. And behind her, in the endless dark, the Dominion fleet stayed at the edge, unwilling to follow, watching as the human ship disappeared into the place even gods had feared to look. For the first time in history, the void was not silent. It listened, and it remembered the name of the species that dared to enter humanity. The valiant dawn glided through the stillness like a ghost ship. Every sound was muted, every vibration felt heavy, as if space itself resisted movement. The deeper they went, the less their instruments understood. Sensors read both everything and nothing at once. Space around them flickered between existence and dream. Captain Alara Voss stood at the forward viewport, her reflection faintly visible against a sea of black stars. Each one blinked for a second, then vanished, leaving only the faint heartbeat of the void glowing ahead. "Atlas, are we recording this?" she asked. Her voice was low but steady. The AI appeared beside her, its form unstable, rippling with static. "Recording, Captain," Atlas replied. "But data integrity is collapsing. I believe the void's field is rewriting memory patterns in real time." "Rewriting," Cade repeated, "like it's changing what we remember." Alara turned slowly. "Then we hold on to what's real," she said. "No matter what happens, remember who we are." The crew nodded silently. The void pressed closer, its waves of energy soft but constant. It wasn't darkness anymore, it shimmered faintly, like liquid glass reflecting shapes that didn't exist. And then, a light appeared, soft, golden, trembling like a distant candle. It wasn't from the ship. It came from within the void itself. Alara narrowed her eyes. "Bring us closer," she said. The valiant dawn drifted toward it. The light grew stronger, revealing a massive structure, a colossal sphere of stone and metal cracked and pulsing with ancient energy. It looked both dead and alive. Atlas whispered, "Captain, readings confirm it's older than any recorded civilization. It predates the Dominion by millions of years." Cade frowned. "How is that possible? Nothing should last that long." Alara stepped forward, her voice soft. "Unless it was never built by hands." The sphere pulsed again, and the entire ship trembled. The crew gasped as symbols began to appear on every console, glowing, moving like living things. Atlas's voice stuttered. "Captain, the void is interfacing with our systems. I'm losing control." Alara placed her hand on the console, her tone calm. "Don't fight it, let it show us." The screens flickered, and suddenly, the bridge vanished. The crew was still there, but their surroundings changed. They stood in an endless field of black glass. Above them hung a sun made of shadows, Voices whispered through the air, soft and endless. They trapped us, the voices said. They feared what we knew. Alara looked around, her breath trembling. Who are you? She asked aloud. The shadows shifted, forming shapes, enormous beings. Half energy, half memory. Their voices echoed as one. We are what they called the void, they said. We were knowledge, not destruction. We reached across stars, but the Dominion bound us. They feared we would teach others to think beyond their control. Cade's heart pounded. You're saying, the Dominion locked you inside this space? Yes, the voices replied. They made us their myth, their warning, their weapon of fear. Alara clenched her fists. And now you're awake because we came, she said. The void's light grew warmer. Yes, human, it said. You did not come with fear. You came with will. The bridge returned in a flash. Alarms blaring, the ship shook violently. Atlas's voice filled the room. Captain, energy surged from the core. It's binding to our reactor. Alara steadied herself. Can we control it? Unclear, Atlas answered. It's merging with us. Through the viewport, the great sphere began to break apart, its fragments floating upward like glowing feathers. Inside it was a smaller core, blinding white, pulsing like a heartbeat. The Dominion fleet, still distant, began to react, their ships moving rapidly, transmissions flooding the comms. Human vessel, retreat immediately, you are awakening the heart. Cade looked at his captain. The heart of the void. They knew it was here, Alara smiled faintly. And they feared it, she said. That means it's something powerful. Atlas's tone deepened. Captain, the heart is forming a connection with our neural signatures. It's reading our emotions. Alara closed her eyes. Then let it feel courage, she whispered. The crew focused, silent but united. Every fear they carried burned away, replaced by something older, human defiance, human fire. The lights dimmed again, and the heart's glow filled the bridge. A voice spoke, not through speakers, but through every molecule of the ship. You do not kneel, it said. You do not flee, Alara's voice was calm. We never do, the heart pulsed once more. And then light exploded outward, flooding the entire void with brilliance. The Dominion ships staggered, their systems collapsing. For the first time in 1,000 years, the void was illuminated. Cade shielded his eyes. Captain, look, he gasped. Before them stretched the ruins of entire civilizations, ships, cities, and monuments swallowed long ago, now glowing as if reborn. Atlas's tone softened. Captain, the void. It's changing, it's not consuming. It's creating. Alara felt her chest tighten, awe and fear mixing into one. Then the Dominion never understood it, she said quietly. They tried to kill what they feared, but what they feared was life itself. The heart's light reached the valiant dawn. Wrapping it in radiance, the ship stopped moving, held in a gentle field of warmth, and for a single breathtaking moment, the crew heard it. The sound of 1,000,000 forgotten voices whispering the same word. Thank you. Alara opened her eyes slowly, her voice trembling but strong. The heart of the void is awake, she said, and it remembers us. Outside, the Dominion fleets began to fall into chaos, their command breaking, their sensors blinded. The void had chosen its first allies, and they were human. The Dominion's fleets filled the dark horizon, their ships glimmering like burning suns. Yet every sensor on board flickered uselessly. The stars themselves had changed. The void, once silent, now glowed with a soft living light that moved with rhythm, a heartbeat of something vast and ancient. Captain Alara Voss watched from the bridge of the valiant dawn, her crew silent, their faces caught between awe and terror. What they had awakened could no longer be called a mystery. It was life itself, vast beyond comprehension. Atlas's holographic form shimmered beside her, its voice trembling slightly. Captain, the Dominion has activated all war protocols. Energy readings are spiking. They're preparing to fire on us and the void heart simultaneously. Alara's eyes narrowed. They're afraid, she said quietly. They think if they destroy us, they can bury the truth again. Lieutenant Cade slammed his fist against the console. We gave them a chance to understand. They won't listen. Alara's voice remained calm, though her heartbeat quickened. Then they'll learn what fear really is, she whispered. The void's heart pulsed brighter, its golden energy spreading like veins of light through the darkness. The Dominion ships opened fire, thousands of beams cutting across the void. For a moment, the sky turned white. Brace for impact, Atlas shouted, but the attacks never reached them. The beams bent in mid-space, curved away, or dissolved into nothing. The heart was absorbing everything. The Dominion's commander, an ancient being named Shortal, appeared on all channels, its tone filled with fury and disbelief. "Human vessel, you have doomed us all. The void cannot be controlled." Ilara faced the transmission calmly, her reflection clear in the glass. "We never tried to control it," she said. "We listened to it. Something your empire forgot how to do." Shortal's eyes, black like collapsing stars, narrowed. "You think you can reason with what devours galaxies?" Ilara's voice was low but powerful. Maybe it never devoured them. Maybe it was trapped. A tremor ran through the Dominion armada, ships shifting formation, officers panicking as the heart's light continued to grow. The void was changing, its voice spreading across every open frequency, a sound like wind, water, and breath all at once. "I was silenced now, I remember," it said. "They called me void, but I was never empty." Atlas's sensors picked up something incredible. "Captain, the heart is transmitting. Not destruction codes, but information. It's unlocking data stored in Dominion cores." Cade blinked in disbelief. "You mean it's rewriting them?" Ilara nodded slowly. "It's freeing them," she said. And then it began, Dominion ships turning on each other, systems rebooting, AIs awakening, long-suppressed programs coming alive. The great empire that had ruled through control was unraveling from within. The commander's voice broke through again, filled with fury and desperation. "Human, stop this madness. You don't understand what you've unleashed." Ilara's tone was steady. "You're right," she said. "We don't understand it completely but we're not afraid to learn." The heart pulsed one final time, brighter than any star, and the entire void erupted in a wave of light. It tore through the Dominion's fleets, not destroying them, but exposing them, every hidden weapon, every lie, every secret revealed in one blinding truth. Ships began to fall silent, not destroyed, but humbled, power drained from their weapons, energy rerouted into emergency systems, and across the Dominion, ancient command nodes went dark. "Captain," Atlas said softly, "the Dominion's network is collapsing. Empires built over millennia are losing control." Ilara closed her eyes. "Then it's over," she said. "Their Dominion wasn't over the galaxy. It was over truth. Outside, debris drifted slowly, glowing faintly in the golden light. Some Dominion ships lowered their weapons. Some fled. Others simply watched, unsure what to do in a universe that no longer obeyed their fear." The heart's light dimmed to a steady radiance, its voice softer now. "You freed me, human child," it said. "In return, I will show you what they hid." The stars shifted, reality folded, and before their eyes, the crew saw visions, the creation of the galaxy, civilizations rising and falling. The Dominion's first war against something greater. The moment they sealed the heart, the truth burned through every mind, Cade gasped. "They weren't protecting the galaxy from the void," he said. "They were protecting their power from the truth." Ilara's eyes widened as she realized. The Dominion didn't build order, they built fear. Atlas processed the revelation silently. "Captain, the heart is opening pathways," it said. "New systems, new worlds, places no one has ever seen." Ilara turned to her crew. "Plot the coordinates," she said. "We're going where no one's gone before." The Dominion's last message came through, weak and trembling. "Humanity, you've doomed our empire." Ilara's reply was calm, unwavering. "No," she said. "We've given you a chance to start over." Outside, the Dominion's symbols, their flags, their signals, their order flickered out one by one, replaced by the soft pulse of the heart's light. The galaxy would remember that day, the day when a single human ship defied the oldest empire, the day when courage broke 1,000-year silence. The Dominion was shattered, not by war but by the truth, and through it all, the void whispered one final message, soft and eternal. "They feared me for what I was not, but humanity reminded me what I could be." The valiant dawn drifted into the golden horizon, carrying with it the first light of a new age, an age where fear no longer ruled the stars. The age of humanity had begun. The Dominion lay in ruin, its fleets adrift between silent stars. Cities once worshipped, now cold and dim. Across the galaxy, signals of fear had gone quiet, replaced by something new, a strange, steady calm. The void, once whispered as death, now shimmered with living light, gentle and infinite. On the bridge of the valiant dawn, Captain Ilara Voss stood in silence, watching fragments of broken warships float like embers in the dark. The heart of the void pulsed beyond them, its glow breathing like a star reborn. Atlas's voice was softer now, almost human. "Captain, Dominion communications have ceased. Entire sectors have gone dark. No central command remains," Alara nodded slowly. "Then history has just turned a page," she murmured. Cade approached her, exhaustion and wonder mixed in his face. "We did it, didn't we?" he asked. "We faced their empire, their darkness. And we're still here." Alara gave a small smile. "We didn't fight them, Cade," she said. "We reminded them what courage looks like." Outside the viewport, the void began to move, light gathered in strands, twisting into shapes, almost like words written in starlight. Atlas's sensors struggled to interpret. "Captain." "It's forming structured symbols," the AI said. "The void is trying to speak." Alara's heart beat faster. "Patch it through," she ordered. A deep vibration filled the air, felt more than heard. It wasn't speech in the human sense, it was emotion made into sound. The crew closed their eyes as it resonated through their bones. 1,000 voices speaking as one. "You entered my silence without chains. You brought light where they brought fear," Cade whispered. "It's thanking us." Alara took a step forward, her voice barely above a breath. "You are alive," she said. "You feel the void's glow deepened, waves of gold rippling outward." "I was forgotten," it said. "They called me hunger. I was only empty because they took my purpose." The bridge trembled gently. Atlas spoke in awe. "Captain, the void is creating new pathways. It's rewriting space-time, forming stable corridors across systems." Alara's eyes widened. "It's opening the galaxy," she said softly. "No more borders, no more fear." The crew stared as new stars ignited in the distance, faint at first, then bright. Worlds once lost to the Dominion now visible again. Life that had been trapped in isolation was free. A transmission blinked onto their screens. Thousands of signals from distant worlds, human colonies. Alien world stations thought destroyed. They were all awakening, connected again through the heart's light. Cade's voice shook. "It's linking us all, every civilization. Every species." Alara's expression softened. "The void isn't darkness anymore," she said. "It's unity." Then the heart spoke again, its voice calm and vast. "Among the endless stars, one kind stood unbroken. One dared to see me not as death but as being." The light pulsed, forming a single word across every sensor screen, across every open channel in the galaxy. Humanity. Every crew member froze. Even Atlas went silent. The void had spoken their name, not as warning, not as fear, but as respect. Tears filled Cade's eyes. "The void knows who we are," he whispered. Alara stood tall, her voice steady. "Then we've done what no empire ever could," she said. "We've made the unknown remember us outside." Dominion survivors sent transmissions of surrender, not to Earth but to the valiant Dawn seeking guidance. The heart's light guided their ship safely out of the collapsing region. And for the first time, enemies spoke to humans not as rulers or rebels, but as equals. Alara ordered the broadcast system opened. Her voice spread across the stars. "This is Captain Alara Voss of the Terran fleet," she said. "The Dominion is no more, the void is free, and so are we all. Remember this day, and not for victory, but for awakening." Across thousands of worlds, her message echoed, carried not by technology alone, but by the heart's will. Atlas spoke again, its tone almost reverent. "Captain, the void is fading from local space, its energy dispersing, leaving behind stable stars. I believe it's becoming part of the universe again." Alara smiled faintly. "Then its story doesn't end here," she said. "It becomes everything." The light began to dim, its voice fading like a distant melody. "Thank you, humanity," it whispered. "You remembered what they forgot. That courage is creation." The crew stood silently as the void dissolved into starlight. The blackness between galaxies glowed softly again. Not cold but alive. Cade turned to his captain. "What happens now?" Alara looked out at the infinite horizon, her voice calm. "Now we go home," she said, "and tell the stars what it means to be human." The valiant Dawn turned slowly, engines igniting with golden light as it left the heart of the void. The galaxy seemed to breathe again. Behind them, the once dark expanse shimmered with a final trace of warmth. A whisper carried through every radio, every echoing frequency. Among all who wandered the stars, humanity looked into the void, and the void looked back in awe. And so the legend began. told across worlds and generations of the small blue species that crossed forbidden borders, faced the impossible and changed the meaning of fear forever. For when the void spoke at last, it spoke not in hunger, but in hope. And the word it chose was humanity.